going on, guys? Minutes with Mellon. Take a long video, make it shorter. So, I found this funny clip about this comedian making fun of one of the Biden administrators. I guess the administrator went to a comedy club or something. But that's real quick. We'll play that before we burrow into the real issue here. So I'm gonna play this and then we'll get into it. Hold on.
You work for the Biden administration. Is your job to wake them up, or what's your job? Hey! There's a war! Okay, what do you do for the Biden administration? What a shit show of a job you have. I can't believe you admitted that in front of all these people. You have the freedom to lie. You could have said you were a hooker and I would have been prouder of you. What do you do?
I travel to so many states.
You go to the South and try to sell them on Biden? We're fucking retarded. What the fuck? What are you talking about? That's your fucking job? Is to go, hey, listen, I know you guys like Trump, but Biden, I mean... Wow. Are you ready to be unemployed, or what's your vibe? Nick, what do you do for a living now?
So yeah, I thought those were pretty funny. Go to the South. So before we play this video, there's an article that's talking about the Pfizer vaccine. You know, the one that they tried to force everybody to take? Yeah. So for every 100,000 injections, 27 people would die. So, for every 52,000 people that would have to be vaccinated to prevent one COVID-related death. But if you inject 100,000 people, 27 people will die. Yeah, I don't think that math's working too well. But yeah, we're gonna play this video now. This guy, the doctor he brings on, he kind of reminds me of Kermit the Frog. So you're just gonna have to try to bear with it, because the shit he says actually is kind of important. But yeah, it's kind of hard not to laugh at him. Lose train of thought.
Well, a bombshell development now for all those people that called the COVID vaccines safe and effective. AstraZeneca has just announced the worldwide withdrawal of its Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. They say it's because of a totally rare but serious side effect. Former British Prime Minister, of course, once called the drug a triumph for British science, and he said it saved 6 million lives. Those are his words. Someone who knows all about the rare side effects is epidemiologist Nic Hulscher from the Peter McCullough Foundation, and we invited this esteemed individual on our show. Nic Hulscher, great to have you on the show to dive deep into the side effects. My pleasure. So let's get into why did AstraZeneca actually pull this vaccine? I seem to remember, Nick, members of parliament, esteemed doctors, this drug a long time ago. Did they just learn now about the rare side effects and that's why they decided to pull this, or was something else at play?
So the primary reason that AstraZeneca gave for this recent global withdrawal was actually for commercial reasons. They said that because nobody wants the vaccine, they're just going to pull it off the market, or they're going to lose a bunch of money. Now, back in 2021, there was a large number of side effects identified. But first, we'll go into just a brief introduction on what this vaccine is. So what the idea chimpanzee DNA adenovirus, a modified chimpanzee DNA adenovirus that encodes for the highly toxic spike protein. So this vaccine was authorized for emergency use in 2022, December of 2020. So that was the first country that saw this vaccine. It's cheaper than Moderna and Pfizer. It's been used in Asia. And so it was never approved in the United States because we were kind of concerned about the Moderna. So AstraZeneca had a really hard time getting into the United States. There was a large amount of side effects that were uncovered from these vaccines. And the primary one that was admitted in court recently is vaccine-induced immune thrombotic thrombocytopenia. So what this syndrome is that your body develops blood clots everywhere. It's accompanied by low platelet counts. There was 445 confirmed cases of this in the United Kingdom, and 81 of them were fatal.
Wow.
So, and many papers have showed a causal link between the AstraZeneca vaccines and fatal thrombocytopenia, including our paper, a systematic review of autopsy findings and deaths after COVID vaccination. We collated a few of those cases and proved they were due to the vaccine. But that's just the primary side effect that was identified in 2021, and it actually should have prompted market withdrawal, 3 years ago. Not 3 years later now, where many people have already died from it, any damages caused, and provided compensation for all. So, they have, AstraZeneca has a ways to go, have 6 months and older. So, hopefully Moderna and Pfizer follow in the footsteps of AstraZeneca.
Has been pushing for this, of course, to have these things removed. What did we see in the trial data? Well, because as I said in my intro here, former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson called this a triumph for British science and that this saved 6 million lives. So I want
Saved 6 million lives. So that's a complete, absolute lie. Just to let you know. There's so many articles out about it kills more people than it actually saves.
you'd unpack that in a second. I mean, what is he basing that on? That we saved 6 million lives from AstraZeneca.
So they base these claims off of studies that come out that kind of just hypothesize. They come up with equations. They see and try and say how many lives they saved. It's really mostly nonsense because it's highly difficult to predict that number accurately. But they may, if they did save some lives, they also took some lives. And they took some lives through some side effects that were uncovered in the trial data. And these side effects were, like I mentioned earlier, the vaccine-induced immune thrombotic thrombocytopenia that killed 81 people in the UK, confirmed. There's probably many more. Those were just the cases that were reported. There's also cerebral venous sinus thrombosis. This is a blood clot that occurs in the brain's venous sinuses, and it actually prevents blood from draining out, leading to hemorrhaging, brain bleeding. It also is linked with just general thrombosis, just blood clots over the body. Again, this is likely due to the spike protein that's produced by the chimpanzee DNA viral vector, goes into your cells, encodes for the spike protein. Your body attacks those cells because it detects a foreign antigen, and spike protein's been shown to coagulate blood, makes blood resistant to cleavage of these by your own body. So that's why you see these fibrogen resistant blood clots. And we also these vaccines have been linked with Guillain-Barré syndrome, as well as capillary leak syndrome, which is a rare and serious condition that causes fluid to leak from tiny blood vessels, leading to swelling and low blood pressure. So overall, the safety profile is not great. They should have been pulled off the market 3 years ago.
Can't believe, but in the United States, we put our foot down. Like, we've allowed Pfizer and Moderna to move forward, and of course, still to this day, still moving forward with emergency use authorization for that. And normally, these trials, you would take what, like 10 years to bring a proper like vaccine to market. These things were obviously rushed to market. We know from the trial data in those other vaccines, they hardly had, there were no human trials, right? Or very little as it related to boosters and others. They were testing it on like 11 mice. I think that was about it. So what did we see in the trial data for AstraZeneca that was like an alarm bell in the United States, but not in Britain?
Well, the main alarm bell for the United States, again, the primary reason they say their vaccine wasn't in the United States is because Moderna and Pfizer existed. There's probably conflicts of interest, pharmaceutical capture. They didn't allow AstraZeneca to come here. Now, so that was really the primary reason. We didn't say we didn't take in these vaccines because of vaccine-induced immune thrombotic thrombocytopenia. And again, that's the syndrome that scared all the European countries after the vaccine rollout. It caused issues there back in 2021. But if they were likely to admit that's why it wasn't distributed here, that would be the reason, that syndrome with the abbreviation VITT.
Surely we can't sell them anymore. People just don't want to buy them anymore. They don't want to get these shots. So you know what? It's probably a good time. This all coincides, of course, with the court, with what we learned because of being sued as a result of this. So we wouldn't have even learned this information. They were not forthcoming with this information about these side effects. So they kept all of this hidden from us, didn't they?
Yeah, they kept everything hidden. All of these companies that have distributed COVID-19 vaccines have kept most of the side effects hidden. I mean, in the VAERS system, the CDC VAERS system, there's over 30,000 deaths that have been linked to these vaccines. So, we don't hear that in the mainstream news. We don't hear that by the vaccine manufacturers that their products might have killed tens of thousands of people. They don't want people to know about these syndromes. They just kind of want to get it through emergency approval with no proper studies, no proper double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled trials, just lab rat studies, and they just hope that people take them. And it's very dangerous that that's happening, and it's very unfortunate. But at least we're moving in a step in the right direction. At least they're called replicon vaccines. So they're actually up next are self-amplifying messenger RNA vaccines. So what these do, they go in your body, and the mRNA gets in your cell, and it regenerates itself over and over and over again.
Oh,
So
great.
that's what's up next.
Fuck that.
And hopefully, preliminary studies show that the side effect profile of these upcoming replicon vaccines is pretty bad. About 95% experience adverse events. And it's already been approved in Japan, one of them.
95%.
Now, a lot of them are just local reactions, but 60% of them were systemic reactions. So fever and severe events.
My God, Doc. 95%, and then 60 systemic events. This is unbelievable. I hope people wake up. I hope people hear this. Of course, this information has been suppressed and blocked and banned all across social media.
Yeah, see, that's the fucked up thing. Like, this video will probably get blocked. Like, I'll link it down in the description, but guarantee, not even a week from now, you won't be able to click on it. Because they suppress all this information as soon as it comes out. Even there was a video going around that my wife sent to me about, it was like a mortician. He was draining blood or something from a deceased body, and like he said he's never seen anything like it. Like the blood that was coming out was like long, ropey strands, strands of rope. Like, it's like that should not happen to a human being at all. But yeah, just more suppression and more fucked up news out of the COVID world. And I really think the only person that's even trying to do anything about it is that one senator out of Kentucky, Senator Rand Paul. I think he wrote a whole book about why Fauci should be in prison. But yeah, if you look him up, because they, what is it, gain of function data. That's right, that's what it's called, gain of function data. So taxpayers paid for them to manipulate a virus in China, make it more deadly, and then it accidentally was released to the public, and then it seemed to target a certain group of people. If you look it up, it's pretty fucked up. But yeah, that's what we got for now. It's every video I click on seems like there's more and more shit coming out. But good luck with your shots.